But everyone in the MMA community is like saying, "Who are you gonna fight next?" Dustin Probert is tweeting me saying like, "Fight Mike Perry."
Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we will be talking to you about Jake Paul's next opponent after his victory over Ben Askren. YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul has been one of the hottest topics in boxing for a while now. The internet sensation always finds himself in the headlines thanks to his eccentric behavior. However, he is back in the news, this time for a surprising change regarding his future. The problem child is fresh of a knockout victory over Ben Askren in a PPV event on Triller, which reportedly sold 1.5 million PPVs. Despite this, in a surprising turn of events, it appears Jake Paul is all set to leave Triller for a new network as he prepares for his next opponent. Since then, Paul has gone on a spree of calling out UFC fighters for boxing bouts. Interestingly, Jake Paul never calls out boxers and primarily only calls for fights against wrestlers and grapplers. That said, he's playing it smart. He knows his boxing run is limited and wants to make hay while the sun shines. Mark Raimondi from ESPN reported the news and confirmed Paul would leave Triller as he has a deal in place with Showtime Sports for his next bout. This is an enormous loss for Triller, however, it is a fantastic cup for Showtime, who already have a lot of firepower on their network. Paul even confirmed the move on his Twitter. So, who is Jake Paul fighting next? While no one is quite sure how good of a boxer Jake Paul truly is, it seems like everyone wants to step into the ring with the YouTube star. Now, 3-0 with wins over a fellow YouTuber, a retired NBA star, and a former MMA champion. Every one of Paul's fights have been big businesses at the box office. Since his knockout of NBA star Nate Robinson, mixed martial artists, boxers, athletes, and celebrities of all stripes have issued challenges to Paul. That has only intensified since Paul's first-round knockout of Ben Askren earlier this month. While it's not certain when Paul will return to the ring, or who his preferred opponent is, it's clear he has no shortage of options. The deal with Showtime will be for Paul's next fight. However, there's no information if it's a multi-fight deal. In addition, Paul also revealed he would take a break from the sport. Therefore, who could he fight for his Showtime debut? There are several opponents that Paul could face next. They range from Tommy Fury to rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine, who Paul himself hinted at. However, Showtime is one of the biggest networks in boxing, and thus it appears Paul will finally face a professional boxer. Paul even teased the fight announcement himself with a cryptic tweet that also explained why he left Triller. The problem child hinted at not getting paid his worth and said a fight announcement would follow soon. Paul tweeted, "In the media business, they say content is king. And in the fight business, fighters are the content. So, we are the kings. Make sure you're getting paid like a king. New fight announcement coming soon." Paul has called out numerous former MMA stars, while various fighters have publicly stated they'd loved the chance to knock out the polarizing social media celebrity. After Paul made easy work of Askren, Daniel Cormier joked on Twitter suggesting the fight wasn't on the up and up. This lit a fire under Paul, who responded on his brother's Logan's podcast. "I'll beat the fuck out of your fat ass too, just like Stipe did," Paul said. "Cleveland shit. I swear to God, I'll beat the fuck out of Daniel Cormier." Paul ultimately said he respected Cormier, but suggested they fight. This led to a confrontation between Cormier and Paul during the UFC 261 broadcast, with Cormier leaving the commentary booth to confront Paul in the crowd. The UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman stood up for Cormier, suggesting that he would take care of Paul instead. At the end of the day, that's Daniel Cormier, one of the best to do this. And Jake Paul needs to put some respect on his name when he speaks about DC, Usman told TMZ. Following Paul and Showtime announcement, some interesting speculation on Twitter hinted that Paul's next opponent could be MMA legend Vitor Belfort. The 44-year-old Belfort hasn't fought in MMA since 2018, when he was knocked out by Lyoto Machida at UFC 224. However, Belfort revealed last year that he'd been training for the boxing ring and even called out Paul in December. Belfort has recently been spotted hanging out at Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s gym and has teased phenomenal news coming soon that may be related to Belfort teaming up with Mayweather Promotion. The retired Mayweather is set for an exhibition fight against Jake Paul's brother, Logan, on June the 6th. The fight will air on Showtime pay-per-view. Jake Paul's camp has yet to confirm his next opponent. The YouTuber has also said he's in talks with the UFC about a potential crossover event. UFC President Dana White has said he will never work with Paul. Are you enjoying our video? Before we get further into the video, please like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more amazing videos from us. Let's continue with our video. Paul is now 3-0 in his professional career. However, 2 of those fights were with a fellow YouTuber and former NBA player, and the other was with a retired UFC fighter with more experience in wrestling than boxing. It's safe to say his skills haven't been fully tested yet, but the whole world is watching. People have been demanding he go up against a real boxer in his next fight, rather than calling out low-level MMA personalities. One name that regularly comes up is Tommy Fury, the younger brother of Tyson, and he is game for it. The day after Paul's fight with Askren, Fury originally tagged him and tweeted, "I'm ready to give the people what they want." In an Instagram story, Fury was responding to followers' questions when he was asked when he was going to fight Paul. "I'm just gonna answer this one now cause all my messages are gonna be about this. I'm here. I'm ready, and I'm game to fight," he said. He continued, "This man obviously isn't. And if he is not game to fight, stop using my name. And if you want to fight, come get some." Paul has already said he accepts the fight, on one condition. On the same night he goes up against Fury, Tyson must also take on Michael Hunter. Considering he's currently preparing for a blockbuster bout with Anthony Joshua, it will be a while before we see anything come to fruition. In the immediate post-fight interviews, Paul was asked if the next logical step was to fight a professional boxer. "I don't know, man. I'm gonna do what I want, honestly. I don't know what's next for me, man. I'm just gonna enjoy my life for a second," Paul said. Fury and Paul have been embroiled in beef on social media ever since Tyson sparked a feud between the two by calling out the YouTuber on Twitter and suggesting he went head-to-head with his brother. Paul initially responded by claiming he didn't even know he had a brother, but Fury has made clear that he's more than happy to introduce himself in person. Fury described Paul as having been arrogant when it came to the idea of a fight between the two, so commented, "I'm here and I'm ready and I'm game to fight." He went on to take a dig at the YouTuber as he claimed that he's not very known in the boxing world, saying, "In the boxing world he's a nobody and he's just trying to use the Fury name. The best fighter in the world is Tyson," to try and get the boxing audience talking about him. Fury suggested that Paul had to put up or shut up, as he made clear that if he's not willing to fight him, he needs to stop using the Fury name and fight these UFC fighters and wrestlers and actors. He continued, "Don't mention proper fighting men's names. When I'm game, I'm ready to fight, and he isn't." The boxer didn't hold back as he continued on to address Paul directly, saying, "My message for Jake Paul is he's a massive pussy and he doesn't want to fight. He's not a fighting man, so when he grows a pair of balls, come and see me. But until then, don't mention my name ever again." If Paul chooses to take Fury up on his offer, the boxer said that he'd be willing to fight as soon as tomorrow, explaining that if he receives a contract, he'd sign it in a heartbeat. Adding some more fuel to the fire for good measure, the boxer said that if he and Paul were to meet in a ring, the YouTuber would be going face first on the ground. With Fury willing to sign the contract, it's now just down to Paul to make it happen. With that being said, it's time to end our video. But before that, we want to know how you feel about this. Who do you think will Jake Paul fight next? You know what to do. See you in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed the video. Consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. And we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.